I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best.
So it says I'm a 9 or a 5.
I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best.
Best 10 minutes of your life.
I'm the best.
I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest.
Sounds like another rap song.
greatest. I'm the best.
I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest.
Who gonna knock hoochie then?
I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best.
I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best.
I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the best.
Whose jacket?
I'm the best. I'm the greatest.
I don't know, man. Needs to go.
Whose jacket? Oh,
It's Poppy. There was our recent troll was here and he was trolling back the troll. The troll that one.
Was it the Confederate flag guy? Whose jacket though?
It's
Hey,
Poppy.
Audra.
Hey,
Nice to see
it's
you.
Matthew. Or, indeed.
Listen, what you cannot do though, jacket, is make threats of violence. It's not okay.
Specific threats. It's,
I booted his ass.
yeah, get rid of it.
I kicked Frankie
Yeah,
because
you're
of
gonna make
he's
threats
mean.
of violence on my watch. That's not protected speech, Poppy. Not protected speech.
He called me a dog eater.
Okay, fine, but it's not protected speech to make threats of violence. There's a clear distinction there. And it shouldn't be protected speech because it's either a lie or you're a criminal. So don't make threats of violence. Lying's not protected speech, and neither is criminal behavior any kind of speech. The difference between conduct and content, and when your content suggests that you're going to engage in criminal conduct, you're either confessing to criminal conspiracy or lying.
Why was he threatening physical violence?
Well, because some fucking troll got the better of Poppy. But that's okay. Poppy, you're going to learn not to do that shit. I'll teach you how to handle that shit. You don't got to threaten violence. If you are going to do that, you have to say, you don't say, I will. You say, listen, what you're neglecting to understand is that we exist in a reality in which the following thing potentially could happen if you were to annoy the wrong person in such a fashion. I'm not the wrong person because you're an idiot and I don't have any patience for you. But, however, it should be noted that these sort of things can happen if you insist on wielding your idiocy so sloppily in the future and whacking people in the face as you walk past them. You can anticipate that somebody who's less capable of showing you in a demeaning way how stupid you are might engage in some sort of physical response like this. Of course, I'm very capable of demeaning you in this fashion because your stupidity allows me to demean it very easily because it's so abundantly stupid. However, when you encounter somebody who's less capable than I, you do run the risk of encountering a violent response. Now, that's a much better way of dealing with them. See?
Yeah.
Well, laughing may work, but that's playing an FE sort of a game. Like, I don't care about you, but I want to make sure that they understand that I do care about their wrongness. And I want them to stop squirming as I shove it back up their ass. From whence it came. In other words, God created zip ties so that I can stop you from squirming around so much while I shove your wrongness back up your ass. Now, see, that's a metaphor that makes it clear that I'm not actually going to zip tie him because his wrongness is not a physical object that I can physically shove back up his ass. It's a metaphysical object ass shove, and thus I'm not limited in the amount of force I use. I can really shove it in there hard. Life's like a video game where you've got like a gun or something and you're shooting shit. But instead of like zombies or whatever coming at you, it's just people's wrongnesses coming from every direction.
Those are the zombies.
Yeah, those are the zombies, are the wrongnesses. And I'm just like, pew, 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 pew.
I consider if, there's a water shortage or electricity grid went out for a long time, like all those people that run over each other on Black Friday to get the fondue pot, like those are the zombies right there. Like those are the people you're going to have to fight off at that point.
Well, I tell you, not as Mark, those are the people we're going to go to when we want fondue at that point. Because we don't have fondue pots, and you can't go to the store and get it anymore because it's zombie apocalypse. So I think you are underestimating the power of fondue.
Maybe so. Maybe though, all the zombies are attracted to the fondue. Maybe instead of brains, it's really fondue.
Well, I mean, who knows what they made the fondue out of?
That's true.
If you
Anything's
if you give a human brain inside of a calf's stomach, it turns to cheese.
If you put it in a calf's stomach?
Yeah, if you put a human brain inside of a calf's stomach, it turns to a delightfully light cheddar.
How do you make the cow eat the brain?
No, you don't. You cut the calf's stomach out of the calf. It's not a cow, it's a baby calf. You have to kill it first. You cut its stomach out, and then you stick a human brain in there, and the human brain becomes cheddar cheese.
So at what age does the cow become non-viable to produce cheese?
Now that's a good
Human
question.
brain.
I think it varies, but I would guess probably around 9 months or so, 8 months, something like that. The finest cheese. Who is this person who's a blankie? Listen, blankie, if you're going to be controversial, then you need to have your name up. Like me, I'm Eric Strauss. When I say controversial things, I can stand behind them because they're carefully parsed out. The controversies I affirm are affirmed for very precise reasons. I can defend them. And I'm a named person, not anonymous. I don't know. I'm just saying, just calling it out. I don't know where you're going with that. Just letting it be known. Don't get all controversial if you're going to be hiding in the shadows. I don't know if you are or not. I smell controversy on the horizon. It's got a sweet, smoky stench that speaks of war. Well, I said I'm not passing any judgment. I'm smelling smoke and sickly sweet flesh burning on the horizon. Okay? Now, that may not be coming from you. I don't know. But you're over in that direction.
Eric,
So
do you
maybe I'm
think
just
time is
warning
just
you. Hey, watch out. Someone near you is engaged in this. I don't know. Go ahead, Mark.
Do you think time is just a passage of events? Or like, what's your definition of time?
Well, time is what we call the metaphysical aspect of life. Or time is what we call the physical aspect of life, I guess is a better way to put it. Because the metaphysical aspect is conditionality, and it's removed from time, so that we can understand things as static objects as they relate to one another and achieve consistency on whatever metric we want. But time prevents conditionality from being real and makes causality more real in some sense. But so yeah, time is what prevents us, time is what allows us to be physical objects as well as metaphysical beings.
Well, it would prevent us from being purely metaphysical beings, right?
Right. Well, it's like what Audra says. Time is that which permits movement in space, that which permits change, or time is change. The thing is, I view time as being rendered independently by each individual person. Time also reflects the timing implicit in the physical system. So, like, there's a physical system time that's manifest by the sun and the moon going around the earth, or the earth going around the sun and the moon going around the earth, or whatever, that kind of shit. But then the actual time that we each experience is independent of that. So that's why when I'm sitting here sprung on a bunch of Adderall, I look at my watch and go, holy shit, has it been 8 hours? Gosh, how did that happen? Whereas when I'm sitting here on no Adderall and bored and having to like fill out paperwork, I'm like, Jesus Christ, has it been only 5 minutes already? It feels like 8 hours. That's because it has been either 5 minutes or 8 hours, depending on how I feel about it, not depending on what the clock says. The clock is something that causes us to constantly be returning to a shared time that belongs to none of us.
Would you say that it exists independently?
Yeah, but it's no more real than my time, which exists independently of that. It's just that the only difference between that one and my time is that one doesn't belong to any individual, so it's objectively referenceable by all, and it serves as a good way to force us each to ignore our own personal time in favor of being able to make understandings that include the reality that time passes.